Just yesterday, the Hollywood stars, the artistes, the very sensitive group Artistes for Ceasefire, sent a letter to President Joe Biden calling for a, quote, halt to illegal weapons transfers to Israel. Enough is enough, end quote. This is from Variety magazine. Anybody besides Hollywood bubbleheads read this rag, by the way? Okay, so here are a few of the Hollywood stars spearheading this new drive. Mark Ruffalo, you know, the big green Hulk, and Mahershala Ali. I remember him from the House of Cards. Both these guys are great actors, no doubt. But are they also useful idiots? Let's look closer. They're sporting red pins. What could that be about? The group Artists for Ceasefire says it is a pro-ceasefire pin. But where did it come from? It's so cute. The symbol of a black heart in a hand with a red background. Simply adorable. Red always goes well with black. The German designers in the 30s realized that. The symbol, it came from an event in the year 2000. You know about the October 7th massacre, but do you know about the October 12th massacre? October 12th, 2000. 2 Israeli army reservists, look like nice guys to me, they got lost driving in the West Bank in a city called Ramallah, just a mile or two away from Jerusalem. So they took a wrong turn, maybe a big traffic fine perhaps, right? The Palestinian Authority controls that area of the West Bank, and the police picked them up and brought them to the police station. Word got out, and about 1,000 local Arabs, Palestinians, rioted, and several broke into the police station where they stabbed the 2 Israelis. A teenager appeared at the window. This is an actual photo. And to the crowd, he displayed his blood-soaked hands. The crowd roared with cheers. The hand became the symbol of the pin, a red, bloody hand with a heart in it. So cute. This is what the sensitive artistes wore at the Academy Awards earlier this year. So sensitive, a bloody hand, a symbol of killing Jews. Back to the story. Apparently, the Palestinian Authority police helped the crowd lynch the 2 young men. One of the Israelis was thrown out the window of the 2nd floor. The crowd cheered and stamped on him. Or is it stomped on him? I don't know, stamped on him, stomped on him. You get the idea, right? These are actual photos. The crowd tore the Israelis limb from limb, and they gouged out their eyes. That is normal Arab behavior in the 14th century. You know, hostage taking, gouging out eyes, stoning people to death. Don't be a snob and think you're better than they are. The crowd also gouged out their internal organs, which they publicly ate. You know, the kidneys, liver, heart. This is another actual photo, by the way. Why waste good meat? Have you seen the price of ground round? Now that's criminal. Try to keep an open mind. This is diversity of cultures. You know, one culture is no better than the other culture. All that jazz. They may be infidel Jews, but they are highly nutritious. The Palestinians are taught very good manners at home. Finish your meal, little Abdullah. Don't let any Jew go to waste. Children are starving in America? I don't know. Maybe they were just really hungry, like the Gazans, where obesity is rampant. That's odd. That goes against the media narrative, doesn't it? Anyway, we all know deep down, deep down, we all know that Palestinians are very nice cannibals. I mean, people. The kind you want as neighbors. And they're very well mannered. Excuse me, could you please pass the kidney? Back to the story, which gets worse if you can possibly imagine. One of the two Israelis was shot and set on fire, and the crowd beat his head to a pulp. The crowd dragged the two mutilated bodies to the city center and began a victory celebration. Why not? Any excuse to party, right? Remember, this is the year 2000. Muslims didn't have a lot to celebrate back then. This was before 9/11, before the Bali bombings, the Madrid train bombings, the London metro bombings, the Charlie Hebdo attacks. So most of the good stuff they take pride in came after the year 2000. Palestinians only want, quote, peaceful coexistence. Funny how I've never heard any Palestinian ever say those two words. Peaceful coexistence. Strange. I wonder why. But you can't go by words. You got to go by actions, to know the real person. During the attack, the wife of one of the Israelis got a phone call from her husband's cell phone number. She answered and was greeted with an unfamiliar voice, a guy who said, quote, "I just killed your husband." Nice message to hear. At that time, she was pregnant, their first and last child together. The other murdered Israeli man was a father of 3. British photographer Mark Seeger just happened to be at the scene and tried to photograph the event, but the mob beat him and destroyed his camera. "No picture! No picture!" they screamed. That's strange, because October 7th, they were very proud to film their murders and decapitations, etc. I wonder why. Well, maybe the Ramallah Palestinians are a bit camera shy. Understood. Not everybody is comfortable in front of a camera when eating human flesh. After the event, the photographer stated, quote, "The lynching, was the most horrible thing I've ever seen, and I have reported from Congo, Kosovo, many bad places. It was murder of the most barbaric kind. When I think about it, I see that man's head all smashed. I know that I'll have nightmares the rest of my life." Unquote. This bloody hand pin is what these sensitive artistes wore at this year's Academy Awards. They chose to wear this symbol of killing Jews, of hate. So sensitive. And they chose not to wear the yellow ribbon symbol which other attendees wore. The yellow ribbon symbolizes the civilian hostages held by the terrorist Hamas in tunnels, mostly taken from the music festival on October 7th last year. The yellow ribbon was first worn in 1979 to show support for the American hostages taken by Iran and held 444 days. But why should such caring artistes wear the yellow ribbon? Their heart is not with the hostages, but with the terrorists. 100 years ago, people would just say, "I hate Jews." Simple. Now they pretend otherwise and they say, "I am pro-Palestine." What is Palestine? I don't know. What are the borders of Palestine? I don't know. Who's the leader of Palestine? I don't know. What year was Palestine formed? I don't know. It's a fantasy country. Whatever you want to imagine. Pro-Palestine just means I hate Israel and Jews. Polite words to avoid being labeled anti-Semitic or racist. Such a brave new world. So, are Mark Ruffalo and Mahershala Ali really anti-Semites, racists? Maybe not. Hopefully they are just useful idiots, ignorant of the history of the area. Just sheep that follow the crowd. These sheep follow whichever direction the mainstream media propaganda news blows that week. Next video, we'll cover a lighter subject, and hopefully it'll be easier to keep your lunch down. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you next video. Cheers!